Hey, hey, hey. It's your girl Andrea B, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, where your purpose is just moments away, and I'm here to help you get there. I don't know about y'all, but I am so glad that the first week of 2023 is gone. And I know I may get a little pushback for saying this, but I'm going to tell you why. As we always begin to prepare for a new year, it's like the anxiousness and the nervousness and wanting to do this and wanting to do that. And sometimes it's all noise. And then sometimes we really put things into place for the first week of the new year to say that we've done them, right? But I think of it this way. You had a chance to reflect on where you want your life to go. Maybe you took the time in the first week to sit down and write out your plans and your goals and how you're going to execute those visions that God gave you for this year. But then I always and almost think about this as well. Isn't it almost like reflection? You're doing a reflection. At the end of each year, we sit down and we think about, oh my gosh, I accomplished so much, or either there were some things that you wanted to do, but you just didn't get a chance to, right? So this week, it's all about reflection. This week, it's all about your reflection, right? So reflection to me is really sitting down and thinking about things that went great, things that didn't go so great, but also thinking about what can I do to have more impact? What can I do to have more of a greater sense of purpose? Like, how am I walking in the path or the purpose that God has created for me, right? Because you think about, like, life is a reflection of your choices, right? But your purpose is also a reflection of the thing that God chose to give you, or the things that God chose to bless you with, right? Or the things that God wants you to pursue, right? Or the things that God wants you to really make an impact by just surrendering to Him. And I also think of reflection as, okay, what am I going to do to make sure that I don't end up in the same place again, right? Because I feel like with every decision we make, there is always a chance for reflection, or at least there should be a chance for reflection, right? And with reflection, it's not about always pointing out the negative. It's not always about pointing out the things that went wrong, but what about the things that went great? What about the things that you showed up and you performed so well, or the things that you did very, very well, right? Because think about it. We are a reflection of God, right? In his own image. We are a reflection of that, right? So why don't you take your reflection as serious as God takes it, right? Why don't you take your purpose as serious as God takes it? I'll wait. But is it because that you're afraid to look in the mirror and really be on yourself about what God has called you to do? Is it afraid that you are afraid to look at yourself in someone else's eyes and they may pull out some things that you didn't see about yourself? Or is it just simply because you're not ready to face the music right now? I'll wait again. Think about it, because at the end of the day, we all have a mark to be placed on this world, to leave on this world, right? But it's going to be a reflection on how serious you are about it. It's going to be a reflection on how willing you are to come out of your bubble, to come out of your comfort zone, and to come out so the world can see you, you know? And the thing is, God always keeps his gems hidden until he is ready to bring them forth, right? But I feel like in this present moment and in this present time, someone is getting ready to be called forth. Someone is getting ready to be able to look their reflection straight on and not be nervous about it, not be doubtful about it, not be upset about it, but instead be happy about it. Be happy to walk in it, happy to work with it, and most of all, just be happy to just be in that space and moment in time, you know? I feel like we are so concerned about how we want the world to view us, but what about how God sees us? What about how God thinks about us when he's up there looking in the mirror and looking at all his kids down here, right? You have to think about your reflection as a powerful thing, because I feel like how you see yourself says a lot. And if you see yourself as someone that's broken, if you see yourself as someone that's not good enough, or you see yourself as someone who's never gonna make it, you're gonna forever live in that reflection, because that's what you think about yourself. Think about it. You speak negativity over your life all the time, and that's why you're still stuck in a bad place, right? But once you get into that connection and that relationship with God, and once you start hearing him say like, oh my God, you're great, you're my child, you were called to do something great, but you have to believe it, right? You have to believe in yourself to know that God sees me as his prized possession. God sees me as someone who is meant to make a mark on this world. But now I have to look in the mirror and believe that for myself. You know, God believes in us so much, and we tend to throw it away because we're seeking validation from other people who have nothing to do with how our life is supposed to turn out, right? And the story is that when God wrote your name in the Lamb Book of Life, right? When God even pulled your book off the shelf, he knew where you were going to be right then in this moment at this present time, right? He knew that. But what are you going to do to continue to walk in what he called you to do, right? Like I said in the beginning, our life is a reflection of our choices, and choosing to walk in your purpose is going to be one of the biggest reflections of your life. You choosing to walk into the path that God has called you to be in, or the place that he's called you to be in, is going to be a major reflection. Even if you have to sit down and write in your journal, you sit and you get on your knees, however you spend time with God, and you say, okay, God, like, come on, give me some reflection. Give me something, right? And don't be afraid of when he gives it to you, because you asked for it. Okay. And I feel like as people, we get so afraid of what God is going to give to us, even though we ask for it. And even though it may not be what we want or what we feel like we need to hear, but it's what he knows that we need, right? It's not about our wants or our needs. It's about what he knows what's best for us, right? And when you are in that moment of reflection, just say, okay, God, I may have slipped, but what can I do so I can make sure that I'm not back in that same place again, right? Or God, maybe I was a little mean to that person. Help me to be nicer, right? Or God, maybe I didn't pick up the phone and call that person like you told me to, but give me another chance to make it right. Or you're going to send that person my way, so I have no choice but to talk to them. Reflection is something that at the end of the day that all of us need to do. Something that all of us are going to have to do at one point or another. But I want you to take your reflection serious. I want you to start speaking positivity over your life, right? This is a new year, which means that you're not done yet. You're still here. There's still a calling over your life, right? But are you going to answer it? You're not going to get to the end of 2023 and say, wow, like, I miss my calling. And like I said in one of my videos last week, your purpose is always going to be standing next to you, waiting for you to pick it up. But you have to be willing to pick it up. You have to be willing to look at yourself and reflect and say, okay, I can't keep going the same way that I've been going. I can't keep doing the things that I've been doing because it's been leading me nowhere. Right? Exactly. Take the time to reflect. Do the things that you need to do for you. It's not about validation from anyone else but God. And when God gives you the okay, baby, that's all you need. Reflect. Reflect on the things that make you happy. Reflect on the things that make you want to keep going and that makes you want to stay motivated, that makes you want to continue to be in your calling. And I know a good way for me to reflect is I love praise and worship. That's my jam. Okay, I love me a good slow song that's going to allow me to sit here and just get in my feelings, get me to thinking and wondering like, oh my God, whoo, like talk to me, God, because you was right about that, right? You have to find the things that work for you. 2023 is all about finding the things that work for you, which means it leaves you no excuses to execute the vision. Okay? It's all about finding the things that work for you that leaves no excuse on how you execute the vision, because he gave you the tools. And even if he gave you a little free reign to do it your way, there should be no reason why what he has called you to do is still on the back burner. Okay? Like I said, I do not want us getting to the end of this year shoulda, coulda, woulda, when everything was right here in front of us the whole time, right? God gives us those visions for a reason, right? Those visions are a reflection of what he sees for us and what he knows that we have the strength and the capability and the power to do. I say this all the time. You got this, because you do. You have the number one backing and support that you need, which is from up above. You got this. Reflect, release. My bad. Reflect, relate, release. Because you got this. And I've been hearing this lately, that there's only one you, and no one can rock your purpose like you can. Right? Reflection is a big word, and it's a strong word because it allows you to get real with yourself. It allows you to get deep with yourself. And if you can't get deep with yourself, then who can you get deep with? Think about it. If you can't get deep with yourself, who can you get deep with? You can't go and get deep with nobody else, because no one understands you like you understand you, and God understands you. People can try. People can try to poke and prod and, try to find their way in, but no one's going to be able to get in there like you can. No one's going to be able to get in the mud like you can. No one is going to be able to carry out the thing that you were called, things that you were called to do. But you got to believe that for yourself. You have to see that for yourself. You have to know that for yourself. You are a reflection of God, baby, in his image. And God has something in store just for you, and always for you. But you gotta step up and grab it. You gotta step up and get to it. So take your time, do the reflection, talk to God and say, okay, is this a part of my purpose? Is this a part of your plan? Is this, a part of your will? And once you get that answer, just go for it. You are standing in your own way. And trust me, I am preaching to myself too. I know I'm standing in my own way. I know I am. But I promised myself this year that I would just go after it. I wouldn't sit still. When God gives me the vision, just execute it. Just go for it. And everything else will follow. Everything that I want will come. Everything that I need will come. If it's of God. If it's of what he wants from me. I'm taking my hands off of it because it's not for us to figure out. It's not for us to do. It's for us to listen and follow, and everything's going to go to plan accordingly. Now, is it going to be perfect? Nah, not by any means necessary. Is it going to be easy? Not by any means necessary, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And I said something the other day is that I know that I have work to do, but I'm going to keep going though. And the same goes for you. We all got work to do. We all got work to do. Because if we didn't, we would be up there with him. We all got work to do. But don't let your life pass you by and you haven't even started working. Or don't let your life pass you by and now all of a sudden you're realizing like, oh, I should have done this, this, and that. But when you were given the time to do it, you didn't. So allow this week to be about reflection. Allow every week to be a reflection. Allow every week, every day, every moment some grace. That you're human, you don't have it all together, and we're not perfect. But the one thing that all of us has in common is that we have a purpose. But we have to be willing to surrender to that purpose to get to where God wants us to be. So, you got this. Always and forever. You got this. I hope you guys enjoy this amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast. And we're just getting started. Okay, we got some new guests coming through. We got some great interviews coming through, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear these stories of purpose. Okay, make sure you are following us on Instagram at You're Not Done Yet Pod, and make sure you're following your girl, your host, me, at It's Andrea B on Instagram and TikTok. And I will see you guys again next week. Again, this has been an amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, where your purpose is just moments away, and I'm here to help you get there. Until next time, bye.